probably
just
yeah, probably just the internet. But yeah, so I plan on yeah, that's the big bike I do road trips on. I plan on, after I get rid of those two, I'll finally be able to fit my car in here as well. And then but I plan on getting another Yamaha this winter.
You think you're gonna be able to fit your car in there plus the motorcycles?
Dude,
are you gonna turn them sideways? You're gonna put them sideways and then put the car in front of it?
I have amazing mental Tetris abilities. Like I can look at things and just kind of guesstimate without measuring exactly, just kind of guesstimate how they'll fit. And then I actually did measure it with my workbench I'm sitting at, and I have a trailer behind it. Yeah, you can.
So it must be a pretty deep garage then.
So it's a tandem garage, right? 2-car tandem.
No, it's a single car. It's a single car. This looks like
tandem will be behind each other.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a 10 by 20. Is that about right, Joel?
It's about right, actually. It's 10 by, actually it's closer to 19. But I figure if the front like 4 inches of my car goes underneath the workbench, it fits.
Dude, that's
and
then
I got to put the motorcycles alongside of it, because the garage is 10 feet wide. The car's only
like 6. Yeah.
So it'll slide in alongside them.
Are you gonna put the bikes on one side probably?
Yeah.
See me, I need at least 2.
What's that?
I was saying, I think if I had stuff in the garage, I'd still park outside of it a lot of times and bring it in for storms and such.
No, I'll park it out whenever I'm doing work in here, like working on a bike or something. But no, I actually want it in the garage most of the time. Just protect it.
Can you walk into your apartment from the garage, or is it external? Yeah. You have to walk out.
No, it's attached.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's nice. So I think what I'm gonna do, because next year I want to get the season pass at the local track. It's gonna be like, my buddy's like, get a snowboarding season pass. I was like, well, for $1,200, I'd rather have a season pass at the track.
I've heard snowboarding passes have kind of gone, like, I've heard snowboarding's kind of, and skiing have kind of sucked lately in Utah because everybody's doing it and like the snow's not as good and it's crowded. Yeah.
Super crowded. All these fucks that have just moved in from out of state and crowded up the mountains and everything. And then with all these everybody just buys the unlimited season passes. All the parks are slammed. Even on off days, you'll wait in huge lines. And you're paying $1,200 and the snow's been shitty.
Yeah.
Just like, why would I do that? Or I can just pay $1,200 and get like 8 days at the track.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, a buddy of mine sent me a video and he was like recording how long it took him to get from the end of the line up to the lift and then like to the top of the mountain, and average time was like almost 40 minutes.
Yeah, dude. And especially if you're not at a huge resort, like some of these resorts up in the canyon, like Brighton and Solitude that I normally go to, because they're cheaper, but they're not very big. So even if you take the lift way up to the top, if you're a fast rider, you're down in 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
And then you're waiting 40 minutes.
And then you're sitting on that damn lift again, sitting in line. It's just like, I don't know. I like snowboarding more for like hanging out and grilling in the parking lot.
Yeah.
I feel I've seen so many shows like over the years just have that where like tons of people coming to an activity. It's just like no one has space to move around or anything. It's just so crowded. It was getting that way for a while, but it's probably really bad with all the new movements there.
Yeah, dude, Utah is just like, it's getting to the point where I used to be able to go fishing and in the middle of the week, just head up to the river and there'd be barely anybody on it. Now there's just always people on it. The river's been heavily fished. So like I never go fishing anymore because it's like I used to be able to go up there and get a bunch of fish in a short amount of time. Now I'll like fish all day and get like 2. And it's just so heavily, and I'm not as good as I used to be, but it's just so heavily fished. It's like, it's just not even worth the effort.
Yeah, we had that kind of. Brittany and I have a spot we used to always hike to that used nobody would go, and it was like our own little private lake entrance. And now we go, and there's just tons of trash and people fishing, and it's just like, what the hell happened to this place?
Yeah, 2 years ago, I found the place here is one of the only good places to go hiking, go running on some trails. And now when I go, because I usually try to get out there, just get outside in nature during the weekend. It's just the park. You have to park on the freeway, on the highway outside of it, because there's no room in the parking lot, and the trails are just full of runners, full of everything. Yeah, trash everywhere.
Yeah, dude, that's why when I hear about places like West Virginia where people are like, "Oh, the roads are shitty. Everybody's moving out." I was like, "Well, it sounds to me like it's a state full of is like abandoned." So
lots of room to move and build a big old house. Have a nice lot to yourself.
Yeah, just get some good satellite internet and then just relocate. And yeah, the roads are shitty, but that'll be a problem. So I can fit 2 bikes in here. 2 bikes.
Roads are bad everywhere.
I want a 3rd bike too, though. I want an off-road bike, and I won't have room for it in the garage. At least I'll have to figure something out. Sucks. Store it at a friend's house.
Yeah.
Maybe. I hate doing that though. Anyway, yeah. How cool was? Let's get into the race, man. How cool was? You know what I was impressed by? I forgot how awesome that track is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went over it last time, and I was really excited when we looked at
turns,
the track. Yes.
It's just flowing.
It's a very fun track to watch.
Dude, there's tons of like unique turns to pass on. Like it's not just a traditional, oh, I'm going to outbrake you going into like a 90-degree turn or something like that.
Right.
Outbrake you on the straight. It's like, no, you can. It's so sweeping and flowing. There's just tons of places to check it in. Like that pass Fabio did on Polo Spargaro to take the lead was sick. Mm-hmm. And he had a few passes like that. Yeah, even though he got out to the lead and it wasn't super exciting after that, the moves he made to get into the lead were just like, okay, he can do everything. He can qualify. He can fight with people, pass them and stuff, and then he can blitz away out front. He's just killing it.
Yeah, that I think I heard one of them talking. This is one of the few hand-designed tracks left. Most are designed by computers or done that way. This was hand-designed. So a lot of the racers like it, they call it the old school track, just this kind of more traditional motorcycle track.
Yeah, and I was pretty excited. I liked the results a lot. I was glad to see Alex actually, because they were talking about it after the race, how cool his riding style is and how talented he is. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, we were laughing a lot earlier because it was funny seeing him wreck all the time. But I have said all along that he is my favorite rider in terms of riding style. And so it was nice to see him just get back on the podium, actually first podium for the year.
Yeah. No, he had a really good race. So did Alex. I think that's how you say it. Aleix.
Yeah, it's spelled Alex, but it's Aleix.
Yeah, he did really well too. And it was kind of cool to see Aprilia finish. I don't know. Is that their first
I'm gonna laugh at you every time you say Aprilia.
Aprilia, yeah. All right, my bad.
That was their first podium.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That was a good run.
He's been getting better and better. Aprilia's been getting better and better. And now they have Maverick going to be on it.
Maverick's going to be good on that bike.
He won't. When was he projected to start racing?
I think in like 2 races.
That's what I thought.
They said Aragon, right?
I thought it was middle of September, right?
Yeah, it's funny because sometimes Matt and Steve will be like, yeah. Oh, shit.
Aragon's the next track.
I think it's the one after Aragon.
Oh, okay. Maybe it is. But yeah, sometimes Matt and Steve will say like, oh, we won't see him again until this race. And we're like, Matt, bro, I don't know the schedule like you.
Yeah.
Can you say like in 2 races from now?
In 2 weeks? Yeah, exactly.
We'll see him in 2 races. Like for the idiots here, can you just, so I don't have to look at it up.
Yeah, I even started to get a little confused because there's so many little things like this person's joining us later. Like there's the rumors of Davi coming back. There's like Cal temporarily doing some stuff. And like there's so many little things like that with the racers that are they keep saying, oh, in 2 weeks, 2 races, this. I'm like, I don't know who is who anymore.
Okay,
What's
so the way it's
going on
shaking out with Yamaha is that in a couple weeks, as soon as he's healthy, I think Frankie will be Fabio's teammate on the factory bike.
That's going to be a good team,
right? And then it's going to be that going forward.
Yeah.
Then Cal is going, or no, not Cal. Then Valley's going to stay on Petronas the rest of the year, and they're going to bring in Dovizioso
to be his teammate.
To be the
His
Petronas, yeah, to be
which
his
is where
team.
Frankie used to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Frankie's the new factory rider, so they're going to move him up.
Good for Frankie too. He deserves that.
Well, we knew it was going to happen by next year because we thought like, oh, there's no way they're going to keep Maverick around, and then Maverick like kicked himself out.
Yeah, he's like juices.
Yeah, so it actually might be one of those things where it just kind of works out better for everybody. Like Yamaha gets a better rider, someone better on that bike. Because once Frankie gets up to speed, he'll kill it on that bike.
Oh yeah,
I think he will.
Speaking of killing it, dude, Fabio again.
Okay,
he's unreal.
Unreal. So much better than everybody else.
Yeah.
Like occasionally he has a down race, but like he's there all weekend, and when he gets out up front, no one can touch him. Ever.
No. Mm-hmm. Exactly. He just looks so smooth coming in and out of each turn.
Yeah, he was great. It was funny in qualifying. He didn't get his pole position, and he was really annoyed. You could tell in his interview. But he also knew that, like, what mattered. Marc used to say that because Marc would sometimes get beat to pole position, and then he'd just say, like, yeah, but I got the pace. We'll see what happens. Like, they can have their TISO watch and whatever. We'll see what happens Sunday. And it's kind of Fabio's idea. I was like, all right, I didn't get pole position.
And during the race, every race, you notice they show up they show up all of his lap times. They're all like within 0.2 of each other, like straight down the race the entire way. His
consistency just in the between. He was like 2 minutes 0.0. I mean 2 minutes 0.2 all the way up to 2 minutes 0.8. It was just like that was his. He just ran that pace almost the whole race. And did you see?
Dude, how'd you like? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go.
I was just gonna say, were you guys laughing at all when Marc wiped out Jorge?
Dude, Jorge was laughing about it because he knows he's a rookie and it doesn't matter. But if he had been in the championship race, he'd have been pissed.
Oh, he was still pissed afterwards when he was asked about it. He said he was like, "Yeah, Marc's mistake messed up my whole race," and he was like, he ruined it. And it was like, but Marc admitted though. Marc apologized.
Well,
like,
yeah, but I was thinking like, yeah, he took responsibility, but what's he gonna do? It was obviously him. What's he gonna do? Like, no, I didn't do it. Like, no, he's gotta own up to it. But.
It was right at the beginning too.
Well, that's what Matt said it too. Matt's like, Marc got bumped out of turn 7 and he was kind of seeing red, and then he just chucked it in turn 8 and
yeah, dude.
Yeah, and just took out Jorge, who knows? I don't know if he would have finished ahead of Jack, but he looked really good.
He looked really good, and in practice runs, he looked really good too. That's what it's like in the first. He didn't even finish the first lap.
How did you like Jorge? Cutting that turn in qualifying?
Oh man!
All of a sudden, his first sector flashes up, and he's like 1.4 seconds up, and you're just like,
oh, and I like how everyone is just confused, and it isn't like they were showing the garage, and everyone is just like not reacting at all.
Jorge cut that corner so bad he like broke the computer. Usually the computer detects you when on the green and it just cancels your lap. No, Jorge just like he went on his whole. I don't know if you saw the way that track works. Is there is a cutoff place, like a runoff?
It looked like he missed that.
So the corner's going like this. And in the middle, there's a big runoff area. And rather than going around the track,
he cuts through it. Hey, he's like A to B, man. That's the quickest point is a diagonal.
Yeah, are we racing?
Like all you suckers going around the turn. I'm just gonna go straight through it.
Actually, what's funny is if he had rolled off just slightly and not beat Fabio by a second, but just like 0.4, no one probably would have caught it.
He's thinking Dorna's coverage is terrible, so I'm gonna sneak this in here.
Dude, he could have if he hadn't done it that fast. If he had just rolled off slightly, he could have got pole position for cutting a corner. I don't think they would have caught him. That'd have been hysterical.
Oh man!
Because no one was reviewing that lap, and Dorna did yet another masterclass in Dorna on how not to run their cameras.
Did you see the first? Was it on the first or second lap? Because a lot of action was happening on those first laps, especially at the front. They cut away to show Marc and Jorge like pushing up their bikes and trying to walk away.
I think that was on the second.
For like 20 seconds, I'm like, guys, the race is happening over there.
And the final
this isn't a practice lap. The
final lap, Aleix and Jack are battling, and it keeps cutting to fucking Fabio.
Yeah,
we get it. He's 3
Fabio's
seconds in
gonna
the
win.
lead. He's gonna win. Put him in the corner.
Yeah.
And then
Jack had a hell of a race too, by the way.
Dude, it was a masterclass all weekend in how to have just shitty camera direction.
No, they've done this a few times though, and we've complained about this with other sports too. It's like, what the hell are the camera guys in any sport? I remember we watch basketball, like Blazer games sometimes, and the guy would you go to like the floor version of the guy laying on the floor. You're like, what the heck am I watching? Who wants to watch a game from this angle?
What kills me is it's one thing if you miss something, and it's another thing if you switch away from something that everybody wants to see that the announcers are talking about. Like they're talking about it wasn't even in a practice session. They're talking about Aleix, and he's like, all right, like here he goes. He's getting ready to do his practice start, and he's wound up like this, ready to do his practice start. Cut away to Paul Espargaro sitting there in his chair in his booth, like talking.
Yeah,
it's like,
and you notice Matt and Steve, they like stumble and they like have to quickly catch up to what the camera is showing.
Yeah, they're like, never mind, we'll be talking about this now.
It's like, do we have an angle on that? I guess we don't.
But they've done that a couple of times.
On the last lap, when they're talking, they're all, and Matt and Steve are even like getting animated, excited as they're calling it, and they just kept switching. They couldn't get a camera to actually follow the battle. It was just unbelievable.
They've had that happen on a couple of other races though, where I feel like they've gone away from the action, or they're not showing like. Sometimes the best part of the race isn't number 1 or number 2; it's like 4 and 5, and it's like, what are you guys doing?
And they'll do it all the time when they're talking about, any moment now the move is coming. He's going to make his pass. Okay, let's cut away.
I actually have an idea.
Let's show a replay. Why are we showing super slow-mo replays in the middle of the fucking race?
Yeah.
Showing Pitt holding up a can of Red Bull.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
something's happening.
I guess it's one thing if you're doing a super slow-mo of action, but they'll do a super slow-mo like it's a practice session. Like here's Fabio leaning on his elbow. Who cares?
My other thought too, and I've had this a couple of times, I think it would be really beneficial down the road if they had an option for their service where we know they have different camera angles of different racers throughout the entire race. If you could actually, as a user, select what part you wanted to watch. Like maybe you wanted to watch the middle of the race, or maybe you want to watch the end. Like if you could go through and select that as you're watching, it'd make a huge user experience.
Actually,
that would be nuts.
They do have that option, actually. If you click on the bottom corner, you can select different cameras. But the thing is, there's like 30 cameras in that arena or on the track, and you can't. They have like 2 cameras that'll like focus on 1 or 2 riders or something, and then they'll have the broadcast. And actually, the only way for you to really see keep up is to watch the broadcast feed. And
because they don't broadcast on all the cameras.
Yeah, and you won't be able to keep up manually. You really do need a professional that has the big screen of monitors and is telling people where to switch, but you just need one that's not a retard.
Additionally, the other problem with that, even if you could do that, because Matt and Steve are busy, like doing the announcements and stuff, like that's just part of all sports. They have someone else handle what they're seeing.
That's what I'm saying.
And so they have to. So even if we were doing it, the announcers would be, "Oh, now we have to talk about this random camera shot because we can't see what we actually want to see."
Now they have in their booth. I haven't seen pictures, but I know in their booth they have multiple camera feeds on multiple monitors. But even then, you run into the same thing. They only can see like the main feed and then like 2 other feeds.
Well, and they have to talk about the broadcast feed.
Well, they have their timing screen too, so that's why they're able to look at other like riders that the camera's not showing. They're able to see who's going fast because they have their timing screens. But they're kind of limited as well, to your point, and they can look out the window. But they're kind of limited, and it's just like, who is running? Who's the director? They're terrible at their job, and they don't seem to be getting any better. Yeah, it's just been a long going.
Well, yeah. Not to dwell on that too much. There were some other racers that had incredible. Like we talked about Jack. Brad had another great one going out through the field.
Yeah.
Dude, how about Joan and Pecco going the wrong way?
Well, they talked about, that's an interesting thing. So they were talking afterwards about how probably something went wrong. And there's a lot of people, I would assume a lot of that is thinking Pecco's tire choice right at the last minute did not help things. Because everyone was going medium rear and he went to this, or his medium front.
Yeah.
And then he took the soft option. And started out great.
Yeah. I mean, I can see why he thought soft because the weather was cooler and everything. But this has happened to him before where he just makes the wrong time. And it's ultimately up to the riders. They make the final call on their tires. And he's made the wrong call a couple of times now on the grid. And it's just screwed his race. And
Joan, I think there was one of the Suzuki's something went wrong with, and it was his. I think it was mechanical. Maybe not mechanical, but something else went wrong with the bike because he was right there with Alex, and then he just started dropping back.
Felt like a rock and was getting passed by guys that he's a much better rider than. Alex Marquez shouldn't have been able to catch him.
No, I will say though, Alex seems to have gotten better in each race.
Marquez?
Yeah, Marquez, yeah. He looks, at least to me, it looks like he's gotten better from where he was at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, Taco's improved a bit too. I wonder if these guys are getting, and obviously Pole, I wonder if these guys are getting used to that crappy bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they said the top 6 was one from every manufacturer, different manufacturer, which is kind of crazy. That means they're all the same point, but I still think Honda's at the back.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
The only, Pole was doing well. He dropped back. I don't exactly know what happened with Pole, why he started losing ground so much.
He's just not as good on that. He didn't lose a ton of ground.
Where did he end up?
5th, I think. Yeah, 5th.
Okay.
Which is a great result for him considering his season. But no, I think what it is he just doesn't know that he just doesn't ride that bike well enough to manage the tires.
So that's still a problem with Hondas. I still think they need some work in the off season.
Do you guys think, since this just counting from the second half of the season on, because we know that KTM made a bunch of improvements, do you think they've overtaken Ducati? We know that Yamaha is probably number 1, but do you think KTM has overtaken Ducati as far as how they've performed?
You would think so, and then you see what guys like Jorgi is doing on that bike, and you're like, yeah, maybe not.
I still am of the opinion that the best improved bike of the season was the Ducati. And I don't think that's changed. I think the riders are having some issues. I don't think it's the bike.
Well, the Yamaha has improved a ton. Remember the problems? But remember the problems they had last year with that factory Honda? I mean, Yamaha?
It's true.
How bad both factory riders were for the second half of the season. And they just couldn't get it right at any track. Now, that's not necessarily the bike. That could have just been – it could have been riders and stuff learning it too. So I still might agree with you on the Ducati is like from a mechanical standpoint made the most improvement, but the Yamaha is a much better package than last year.
Yeah, and Greg, if you think about it, if you ignore Pecco's bad decision with his tire, they would have had 2 Ducatis in the top 6 probably.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably 3 too if Marc hadn't ridden like a dickhead.
Marc, my bad. Dude, you could tell though he did. He made that. That was such a sharp.
Yeah, that was a very bad decision. Like when they showed the replay, like they waited to like really dwell on it, and it wasn't. They were concentrating on the front. But I was like, that looked. As soon as they showed the replay, I'm like that looked like Marc did that.
Mm-hmm.
How he quickly cut back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. And you know what? I can't help it. I like Jorge Martin, but there's something Martin, but there's something in me that roots against him, and it's not him personally. I kind of do this with rookies. There's something in me where in any sport I'm watching, I don't mind seeing rookies do a little well, but if I start seeing them, I want to. I don't know.
You want them to like earn it, basically.
And when Fabio was a rookie, I actually rooted against him because he kept getting pole positions. I'm like, nah, he's too young for that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be doing that. And same with Jorge. He's coming in and killing it. I'm like, no.
I think you just don't like Spaniards. Yeah. I think you just don't like. I was voting for Brad all last season. I don't care.
I like rooting against too. I like rooting against rookies and also rooting against people that are repeat winners. Because I'm like, nah, I want someone else to win. Like you already had your glory. Move out of the way.
Yeah, there's something about that, and yeah, for whatever reason, there's something about rookies, unless they're Brad Bender, that I just root against them. So Martin, like he like falls, and a small part of me is like, yeah, fuck you. But nothing on him. Like he's actually awesome, but
he's gonna be a good rider for a while.
Yeah, he looks really, really good. He's scary.
I think good young guys.
He's scary good. He's kind of he's showing the kind of like potential that Fabio did as a rookie. So he'll have some growing pains, I'm sure. But it was not. Oh, I was going to mention. Did you watch FP1, Carl? Greg, yeah, you probably did.
I didn't know.
Dude, how good did Marc look before that fall?
Yeah, that was a pretty bad fall too. Although he didn't look like he got hurt too much, but it's pretty.
He didn't ride well the rest of the weekend.
No, I mean he trashed the bike.
Well, he's low side at 170 miles an hour. It's going to fuck up the bike.
He's fallen a bunch since he's come back. Like that's not his first time doing that in practice.
When I first started watching MotoGP in like 2017, he used to fall a lot because he was always riding on the ragged edge. But by 2019, actually, his last championship season, he barely fell. He had a lot of saves where he like almost fell and then saved it. And I don't know, he's back to falling like as often as he did in like those earlier years. And I don't know whether I don't think it's because he's like less skilled. It's more like he's not to the level yet where he's able to save it. Because usually he would go to fall and then he'd pull out something out of his ass to stay upright. But just like that little marginal difference, he's just not able to do. And he's hitting the deck so much, not just in races, but in practice. And I think it's making him, it's affecting his riding.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about that before, that we feel like he's maybe like riding. I don't even know if you want to use the word timid or like out of fear, but like more like he's riding not to screw up than he is like with the confidence of like I'm gonna do this.
I don't know, man, because no, he threw it in like an idiot, and that's why like he was too aggressive. Is why he wrecked with Martin.
It kind of is the question. We talked about it. It was always the concern when you see a big injury like that in any sports, that one injury early on, like even young guys, can end their career. Basically, they never completely. And maybe that's something to bring up again. Was that actually will we ever be able to see the 100% return of Marc?
I don't know. I'm really anxious to see what he does at like Texas or something, the tracks that he really likes, but also, yeah, I think, and also it'll be interesting next year because Honda will have a year off to try to work out some kinks on that bike. Because I really do think, despite what Marc says where he doesn't trash the bike, I really do think that bike is worse now than in 2019. And even with and he's just not at the level where he's able to fully tame it. And it's just giving him issues.
I agree with that to some level, because back a few number of weeks ago, maybe a couple months now, that we talked about the Honda and the problems of it. I mean, I think the easiest evidence of that is like Alex won last year, and Nakagami was like in the top. He was like the top 10 virtually every single race on that bike.
Alex didn't win last year.
Marquez?
Yeah. Which race?
It was one of the last ones, wasn't it?
He got on the podium a few times. No, he hasn't won a race. He got on the podium a few times.
No, maybe where did he end up? I thought he ended up maybe not. What was his best finish last year?
Second place, I think.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Podium 2, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but he definitely hasn't won a race.
But okay, so podium, and Nakagami was like in the top 10 almost every race. He didn't get worse from the last season, so there is still something wrong with that Honda.
Yeah, and despite Pole's bad season, like a lot of that's due to the bike. So that was amazing for him to get pole position, though.
Oh yeah, no, that was great. Especially he's been having. I mean, it's a new bike, so even if the Honda was working perfectly, he'd still need some time to get up to speed with it.
Oh, have you guys ever wondered why we see so many Spanish and Italian riders in MotoGP, but not very many British riders? Even though the Brits they're obsessed with motorcycle racing.
They have their own leagues. They have their own races.
I didn't really realize this, but in the opening press conference before the race weekend, they were talking to Jake Dixon and Cal Crutchlow about development. Because they had some little young British riders that were riding in some of the youth circuits come in and ask the riders questions. And one of them asked the riders, like, which route should I go? Should I go the Superbike route or should I go the Moto3 route? And so when you're a racer coming up and you want to go into professional circuits, you can go into like Moto3, where you're riding on the type of machinery that they ride in Moto3, Moto2, MotoGP. Or you can go into the Superbike class, which is where what they do is they take, rather than kind of building bikes ground up like they do in the MotoGP series, they take a factory bike that you could buy at the store, the dealership, and they soup it the hell up. They bore out the engine, they put all new components in, all that. But it's a very different platform than what you would ride in that other thing. And the development, apparently, I didn't even know this. Apparently, the way development works in places like Spain and Italy is at a young age, they're developing the riders to go onto the type of machinery they'll race in MotoGP. But in Britain, everybody just goes, they race the Superbike route. So it's very hard for them to make, like Cal Crutchlow was a world champion, a world superbike two or three times. And he was so good, he was able to come into MotoGP, but it was hard for him. He wasn't able to, he's an extremely talented rider, and he's had some amazing results in MotoGP, but he was never able to, for being one of the best riders Britain has produced. And I don't know, I'm not a history expert, but he seems like the best rider of his generation. He hasn't been able to, like, he was never able to be a championship threat in MotoGP. And so they were even asking, like, those younger guys, it's like, I guess now they're starting to, more of the youth circuits in Britain are starting to get that kind of Moto3 machinery. And so it's like, yeah, good. And that's also why we don't produce very many American racers. Because all our youth, every youth that races in America, yeah, we have a Moto America series. But dude, everybody that races bikes in America races on dirt.
Yeah.
So,
or they just go into car racing if they're going to be a racer.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have a really strong street racing over here. But yeah, it never made sense to me why the British didn't have more guys in MotoGP as good, because they have tons of street racing circuits over there. And you're like, man, you think they'd produce a few more riders. Apparently it's and I see British, like I watch British moto YouTube all the time. Dude, they got guys in their 60s and 70s that are reviewing motorcycles and are better riders than 90% of the guys I see at track days in America. Like, they're old guys and they can freaking, they're faster than I would.
We've seen that in other sports and other things as well. It's just kind of how whatever country does their development.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I didn't realize it was a machinery difference, because I was like, well, they have plenty of youth racing in Britain, but not the right machinery apparently. So I thought
it's because those damn Southern Europeans just hate the Northern Europeans. That's what it is.
Well, it's no wonder when Fabio was young, he went over to Spain to do a lot of his racing.
Yeah, because he didn't grow up in France, did he?
Not really. They say he's from Nice, but he spent most of his youth, I think, because of racing. He spent most of his youth in Spain.
That's kind of the difference between him and Zarco, because Zarco grew up in France, right?
I think so.
He seems more of a Frenchman than the
Zarco definitely seems more French. Fabio doesn't seem not French. Zarco seems more French. I mean, at least Fabio knows Le Marseillaise or whatever, the national anthem.
Speaking of Zarco, though, one last thing for him.
Oh, yeah.
What's been going on with... He's, like, the first half of the season, he was incredible. And it's been not too good for him lately.
Yeah, who knows? I need to watch his interview after this race. I don't know what's going on with Zarco, but yeah, we fell last time. He had a pretty good route on Saturday. Matt and Steve asked again during qualifying, like, how come nobody ever tries following Fabio on the... It's like, dude, it's because they can't keep up with him.
Yeah.
Matt pointed that out. Like, well, Marc tried it a few years ago and ended up high-siding.
Yeah, you never follow around the fastest guy.
Yeah, you need to follow, like, Alex Rins or something like that. Well, no, I mean, because Alex can qualify well in the first two rows, but he's not going to lead.
I'm laughing because isn't he the guy that got pissed at Marc following him earlier in the year?
Oh, it was Maverick.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Alex didn't really care. Alex doesn't like it. I don't think anybody likes it. Alex didn't really like it. The only one that really embraced it was Jack when he was doing the how much money are you going to give me for giving you a tow?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. Anything else you got
observed
this weekend?
Not that I observed, but one thing I kind of found out just because this is my first year getting involved with MotoGP. So I was pretty impressed. I mean, Marc's obviously had a very down year, and I've been kind of bummed that I haven't gotten to see the real Marc. But at 28 years old, I was impressed that he ranked third of all time MotoGP racers with 6 titles, and that Rossi, who's 15 years his senior, has only one more title than him. I just thought that was crazy that
Who? Oh, you mean Rossi?
Mark.
Rossi.
Yeah, Rossi. Yeah, has
Rossi.
one more title.
Greg has this thing when he reads a word, he decides how it's pronounced, and then even if he hears it pronounced differently, he never deviates from how he. It's like when he saw Aprilia. The first time he saw it, he goes, "Oh, it's Aprilia," and despite hearing the word Aprilia all the time, he just stuck with it. Nah.
But no, I just was impressed about that, though. I mean, that's crazy. I didn't know that he had 6 titles. He was only I think he's only 2 away from tying the all-time MotoGP racer too.
It's like Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus. Everyone's like, he's going to break Jack Nicklaus's record.
How many does he have? Yeah, and I forget how many Marc has across all classes. 8, maybe. So he also won at Moto 3 and I think Moto 2. Yeah, he's insane.
Yeah,
Exactly. And Rossi's it's kind of like with like Michael Jordan or something, or in basketball. It's like other athletes may come along and get more titles than him and may even be better than his stats. But Michael Jordan will always be the one that transformed the NBA.
Yeah.
It made it into the global sport. That's what Rossi did with MotoGP.
Yeah.
Sorry if you can hear a lot of background.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah, it's just
TV or something.
No, it's my neighbors. It's because the walls between garages are super thin.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
So because I got a garage over there and a garage over there, my neighbors.
Yeah, they didn't put insulation in those walls.
No, why would you?
Yeah,
it's a garage.
Oh man!
But thank goodness they put at least some. I wish they put more in the floors in the rest of the apartment, but
yeah.
I mean, there's pretty much no way to stop noisy floors unless you pour concrete and stuff, and like nobody's going to do that.
No.
Mine's pretty good, my complex, because so I'm on the 3rd floor, but just listening to the insulation's really good, and they designed it so there was no hard floors over where people are sitting or walking around in the apartment below. So they just alternate the exact floor plans so that you don't have people like stomping around on tile above your head.
What does that mean? So what is underneath your kitchen, for instance?
I don't know. It may be some wall, maybe the bathroom or something below, not like a living room.
There's got to be something.
Or bedroom, or not a living room or a bedroom. When you get to the 2nd floor, there's garages underneath.
So they just stacked all the kitchens and the bathrooms?
I remember I looked at the floor plan, but
I'm just saying people walk through almost their whole apartment, so I don't know how they'd.
No, they put, like, I guess less common, like they don't have the kitchen over the living room or something, and they have a lot of different floor plans of apartments.
Well, it's
so
not,
they just
but it's not the kitchen that makes gives the noise. It's my like dumb neighbor walking around like stomping around bedrooms or whatever,
pacing while they're on the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
They also just
I just think to myself, like, first of all, do you never take your shoes off? So you're just stomping.
A lot of people don't.
I know. Second of all, how fucking fat are you? And then third of all, like, what are you doing? Why? Like, I'm pretty active. I don't walk around my apartment all day. I like do something and go sit down. It's weird.
Well, should we look at the track for next week or for next race? Not next week.
Yeah, I think we have a week off. And then next it is,
which I really like. I like the week off, by the way.
Well, we have a week off, and then it is a back-to-back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with the week off's great.
Aragon.
Mm-hmm.
Motorland. That's a good one. My computer's too far away. I'd have to like lean way forward, and I don't want to.
Well, I can. Do that. Can you see that?
There we go. Dang, that's crazy. 6, 7, and 8 will be fun.
Yeah, I like it. I like the looks of 8 and 9.
Yeah.
Go right, flick
I
right.
just like that
flick
dip
right,
down
flick,
and then
flick
the acceleration up.
Yeah. It's hard. I mean, looking at a track layout never tells me a ton until I actually can see it, see how the bikes go on it and everything. That back straight's huge though.
Yeah, it is. I actually like having a long back straight better than having one at the front.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like the front straights to be a little shorter so that way you get a really competitive turn one.
Yep.
On the start.
Yeah, I don't necessarily love the huge just horsepower race into the finish.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Silverstone finish, the big sweeping corner through the end. But also, yeah, sometimes I like the horsepower race. Just because like part of a motorsports is like how fast can your machine go.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I like them on other parts of the track rather than the finish line.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, should be good. Should be good. I mean, there's a lot to look for. Pretty much everything that we had question marks at the end of this week. Like, is Zarco going to bounce back? Is Marc going to show what he did in FP1, except for the whole weekend if he doesn't crash? Fabio's the favorite again because he's just like good everywhere. And Fabio apparently really likes this track. So I could see that. Like sectors 1 and 2 are going to be great for the Yamaha.
Is Aleix going to get another podium?
Yeah, I would love to see Aleix get another podium. Yeah, and see if Pole can follow up with what he did this week. Yeah, there's just a lot to. I mean, there's always tons to look for. And then hopefully
Brad get another one.
Yeah. Great. Hopefully we get closer to Maverick and Davi because everybody likes Dovizioso.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear them trying to come up with a new nickname for him?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, they're just trying because they used to call it Desmo Davi, but not anymore. And so they're asking users to send in like posts on Twitter.
Dickhead, I'm gonna have to call these fuckers up and complain to them.
What's up?
Oh, my new reverse osmosis water filter. It like doesn't. I got a hookup for the laundry, and like every time you try screwing it on, it cross threads, and you can't get it all the way on there, so it leaks. So I emailed them and was like, "Dude, what the fuck? Send me a shitty part." And they're like, "Well, they're like, try getting a new adapter for your faucet." I was like, "Dude, I have a brand new adapter on there. The problem is your part is made of shit tier plastic, and it won't connect." Anyway, sorry. I'll just have to call them up and bitch and say, you need to send me a new one because the one you sent had screwed up threads and it wouldn't go on.
And if you don't, I'm just gonna negatively blast. I'm just gonna negatively blast you on my podcast.
Well, I'm just gonna return the whole fucking unit. Yeah, I mean, I spent $150 on a filter. I want it to actually hook up.
Was it one of those ones where you know that everybody now you're finding out people probably were paid to write good reviews on it?
No, because I bought it from a friend gave me the recommendation because he really likes it. So, no, I went direct. I didn't go on Amazon. I went directly on their website and bought it.
Nice.
He's like, try cleaning your outlet with a metal brush. It's like, motherfucker, the outlet is a brand new brass ring. There's nothing wrong with it. It's because you guys build shitty plastic parts that don't have good threads on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I was talking to someone in construction and the piping and about how they still use like Schedule 40 pipe and that level of plastic for everything that they used to, 30 years ago. Except it's not the same Schedule 40. It's a lot weaker and more brittle. And
so if you have a female adapter that's plastic and you're trying to put it onto a hard brass male adapter, and the threads on that female adapter aren't perfect, when you're screwing it on, that brass is going to tear right through that plastic.
Yep.
And that's what happened when I tried to screw it on, because the threads weren't perfect.
I had the same thing happen with my hose.
It should be a pretty standard. Like everyone uses the same thread spacing, so it should be the same threads per inch.
Right, and it's just I'm putting it in my laundry room, so it's the garden hose hookup, and it's just the same. I bought a Y adapter off Amazon, so I could just hook it into the same cold water outlet for my washer, and the washer went onto it fine, no leaks, no problem, because the washer is brass. You put this shitty plastic one on there, it won't even go on. He's like, you have to screw it on enough so that way the brass male is touching the O-ring down inside. I was like, yes, asshole, I know.
What you need to do
is why I'm emailing you, is because it wouldn't go on all the way and I was getting leaks.
What you need to do is wrap the shit out of it with the plumber's tape and then just ratchet it on and never take it off.
That's what's going to happen. I'm just going to wrap the shit out of it with Teflon tape and just crank it. Freaking day. Actually, I will see if they'll just send me a new one first. But anyway, but yeah, that's a fun thing to end on, is me just bitching about something inconsequential. Awesome. Oh, let me bitch about something else. I got to return my couch to Costco. Thing fucking sucks.
Oh, really?
Dude, it's super firm.
No cushion. Yeah, I was gonna say
super firm. And you think for a $1,500 couch, it would be a little bit comfortable.
Yeah.
I was watching MotoGP last night. I tried sleeping on it, because sometimes I'll sleep on the couch. I couldn't get to sleep at all because you don't sink into it at all.
It's like sitting on a plastic couch.
Yeah, and actually the depth that you sit on it, it's not very deep. So you essentially have to sit up straight, because if you slouch a little bit, your ass is starting to fall off the front of it. So
yeah, I don't like the really.
So if you have an ottoman, if you have a big ottoman or something, it's fine, right? So actually,
so you gonna show us?
Yeah.
So look at this thing. Look at my popping area rug though. It's kind of cool, right?
That's sweet.
No, look. So it's cool.
Oh, you got one of those cube ones. You can rearrange it in any order you want.
It's modular, right? And actually, that ottoman can go over here.
Right.
It actually hooks in.
And you
don't just set it there.
You can even change the full structure of the couch, right? Because those are all individual cubes. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can actually like swing the pieces around and make it into essentially just a double bed.
Yeah.
But so it's comfortable when you're sitting on like this part of it, because you're just like, I'm going to put a coffee table here. But the problem is, like, it looks okay, but you just don't even. It's just like you have to sit up straight.
Oh, yeah.
It just.
Well, do you think maybe it'll break in if you have it for a couple months?
Yeah, I think couches should be comfortable. Yeah, but what do I have to do? Like every day, sit on a different cushion to try to break it in?
Probably.
The thing is, when they, because I know I recently did repair on my couch. They pack them really tight with the foam and everything like that, with the design that there has to be some wear on them, because if they don't do that, they don't last as long and they start collapsing early.
I've had couches that are comfortable when you sit on them at the store, and then they also hold up.
What'd you think of my couch, Joel? We got that 1 week before you showed up. That was comfy, right?
You did spend $3,000 on that couch, right?
No, we spent almost $6,000 on it.
Holy shit! I thought it was like 3 to 4.
No.
Yeah, it better be fucking comfortable. Holy shit! Yeah. I mean, Brittany's lucky she let you talk her into. You let her talk you into that, because $6,000 for a couch, man. I'm gonna be like,
well, it's a huge.
We're buying an $800 couch, and I'm buying another motorcycle.
Yeah, it's the most comfortable couch we've had, though, and it's big. We wanted one that could sit like 8 people.
Well, you can see, like,
I'm
over here in this corner.
Yeah,
this thing will fit a lot of people because it almost fits. Like, there's 6 cushions essentially, and you can fit like 1.5 person. It fits a ton of people. It's a big couch. That's why I liked it. It's big and modular. but it's just not comfortable.
Yeah.
Like I went to so it's gonna, as cool as it seems, it's gonna have to go back. So
they'll come pick it up and everything, right? You're just gonna order a new one from them, so they'll drop a new one off to you, or you're gonna go somewhere else?
I'm going somewhere else. I've decided that buying online couches is retarded. You just need to.
Dude, you can't do it. You have to go. That's what Britt and I did. We went and sat in a bunch. You should look at like.
I'm
look at Crate and Barrel.
No, because I do not have that kind of budget for a couch. I'm not going to Crate and Barrel.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't be able to buy one that big for your budget, but you could get one half that size for your budget.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, if I'm spending $1,500 to $2,000 on a couch, I'm not getting a little 3 cushion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if I want a 3 cushion couch, I'll go down to Ashley and get like one for $800.
Does Ashley have sectionals?
Ashley has some really nice couches. Actually, they had one there that I really liked for like $1,700, but it super comfortable because it had really firm foam, and then it had a layer of like fake
memory
down.
foam. Oh yeah.
No, it had fake down. So when you looked at it, it was kind of like a ruffled look, but it was so comfortable. The thing is, I kind of read some reviews and people said it didn't hold. It looks great, but it doesn't hold up. So but anyway, so the point is, you can't really tell, but I am slouching just kind of in this couch right now, but you can see.
Oh yeah. Like, dude, it needs to go like another 4 inches up to your knees.
Exactly. I'm like hanging off it, and my back kind of hurts because I'm not sinking back into it. It's like slouching in a hard chair.
Yeah.
Back starts to hurt. So it's just if you had an ottoman there, it's fine. But I was like, I shouldn't need an ottoman to sit on the couch.
Yeah,
the couch should just be comfortable.
Yeah.
So no, it sucks. And what shocks me is Costco had like 5,000 or something 5-star reviews or something. I was like, who the fuck are these people that just like the second I get a couch, I go write a 5-star review.
Yeah.
Instead of like evaluating it a little bit. These fucking online reviews are dog shit.
Yeah, no, they really are. Britt and I are returning something that we had a bunch of online reviews that said it was really good. We're just like, the hell, you can't. And it had like, I think it was like 6,000 online reviews, and it had like a 4.5 rating. Like, what the hell?
You used to be able to go through it and see some of the top ones and low ones and just kind of figure it out. But it's like you don't get that anymore.
I know, man. I'm having to return my little robot vacuum too because it can't climb. It says, it climbs 0.65 inches. It can't climb the like half an inch or whatever. It's not even half an inch. It's like
your RoboVac won't go from the.
And I thought at first it was because the little spinning arms got caught underneath the rug. Yeah. But so I took them off, and it still wouldn't climb up it.
That's weird.
I know, it's bullshit.
Ours does that. Ours goes right from the wood floor onto the area rug, and ours will even go from the wood floor onto the tile, which there's like 1.5 inch gap there.
This is the hard part. Is I've heard the nice RoboVacs, they don't like dark colored area rugs because their sensors think it's a ledge.
Oh, makes sense.
But so what people have done is they'll tape tinfoil to the infrared sensors on the underside of the back, because then it reflects the.
Yeah.
So but then it said it will, if you do that, it will chuck itself down the stairs. So then you have to manually put in the strips.
Well, you don't have any stairs though.
Do you have stairs?
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, so I'll just. But I ordered another one that was only a little bit more.
How much are those?
So I got the one that was like the number one, again, the most popular one on Amazon with good reviews. It was $150.
Do you recommend? Because I'm just using a normal vacuum.
I would be using this one if I didn't have an area rug, because it did a great job. I just let it go, put it on auto,
But Carl, do you have all carpet?
Carpet, tile, and laminate.
But majority, what do you have? Majority carpet?
Probably, yeah.
They're better typically for wood floors. They do carpet, but I always think a regular vacuum does carpet better.
Yeah,
they just don't have the suction strength a lot of times.
Yeah, you can get ones with really high suction, but I'm still agree with Greg. I'm not really confident. I have pretty low pile carpet. My 2 bedrooms have pretty low pile carpet, so it does actually do a good job in those.
Mine's pretty cushy and I think pretty new. So
No,
Mine's
that
new, it's just
robot,
low.
you'll
It's
find
just
that
low.
sucker just chilling in the corner one day.
Yeah, mine is new. It's just low pile, so you
No,
can.
I'll probably not worry about it.
I didn't get it. I didn't get it for carpets though. I got it for the wood floors.
Yeah, they're
because
excellent for wood floors and
I had a
laminate
lot
and
of
all
wood
that.
floor, especially in the
And
kitchen.
tile.
And I was telling Greg this the other day. It's like I just didn't want to have to spend I didn't want to have to go sweep my kitchen every single day.
Yeah.
Because I wear bare feet in the kitchen all the time, and if I feel any
Yeah, it's
crumbs or
gross.
anything under my feet, I just have to get the broom out and sweep or the vacuum out. And I was like, if I could just have a little vac that's just gonna like go in circles around under the counters and then do crisscross.
I just don't think I have enough laminate or tile to worry about that.
Well, now because I put in the big ass area rug, which I really like, by the way. I mean, the look's cool, but it's just nice having carpet right there. Plus,
Yeah,
I mean,
I like the area rug.
it was a big ass rug, but it was
You get that at Costco too?
Wayfair.
Wayfair. Nice.
They were closing. It was only $100.
Yeah, it looks nice. I like it.
$100 for a 8x10 is really good, actually.
Yeah, it's really good. The area rugs are super expensive, especially if you go real high quality and you get large ones.
Yeah, if you go high quality, if you go like the 7x9 or the 8x10, they start at like $250.
Yeah. Yeah, Britt and I looked at doing like an actual Persian rug one time, and it was like $4 or $5 grand. We're like, nope.
Well, I also and the thing about area rugs is you can get kind of goofy designs, funny stuff like I did, and then if you get tired of it, you just change it out.
Just change it out. Yeah, I think you were at my place. We have like 4 area rugs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and all mine are my area is all like gray. Like my apartment is all grays and tans and grays, that kind of colors. So you can put any color down on the area. You can put black like I did, or you can get a blue one or something.
Yeah,
cool.
dude. You can also get another. Like if you don't have one in your bedroom, you can move that to your bedroom and put a new one out there and switch them around, all that stuff.
I won't. Yeah, I don't like them. I don't typically like them on carpet.
No, we don't have carpet in any of our house.
Right.
Yeah.
Our my bedroom has carpet.
Oh, okay.
So both my bedrooms do. I did put my old area rug in the guest room though. So
yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, we'll see.
I got to jumping off, guys.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, Carl's going to the thing. Greg's got to go. I'm just gonna probably work on the bike a little more.
Nice.
Try to find more clerical errors in from my work so I can get more money.
Yeah, seriously.
Do you like that?
I actually had I had that happen to me a couple years ago when I was doing contract work, where it was funny because I didn't even realize it at first because they always paid one in the rear, meaning so that like when you were done, you'd get like a full paycheck ahead. And so I didn't notice it. And then one time I was going through and I was like, mine wasn't as bad as yours because I think you said you were about $7 grand off. Mine was only like 2,400, but still I was like, how the hell did you guys miss this?
Yeah, what happened was I submitted all my hours for the month of June when I was still a contractor. I submitted all the hours in like the second week of July.
Yeah.
And by then I was already a full-time employee. So I had a full-time employee paycheck coming in the middle of July for the first 2 weeks of July. And it's like their system saw I was already getting paid for that. And they were like, oh, he's a full-time employee now, so we don't pay him by the hour. It's like, well, when I did those hours, I'm still an hourly employee. So you got to send me 2 paychecks.
Yeah.
So their system just screwed it. Good thing I was looking, man, because some people just like, it comes in, it comes in.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I kept looking at my account. I'm like, I thought I was due more money from these guys. I was like, yeah, it was fucking $7 grand. So
Tell your boss that makes you even.
yeah, exactly. I just should say I'm not working until I get paid.
just log on the call and just like have a sign up that just says pay me.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I'm sure they'll figure it out soon because it's pretty. Their accounting is goofy, but I was autistic about it and sent them all my records and like an Excel sheet where I went like, here's what day I got paid, here's what the money was, here's what dates that covered, here's what the hours were.
Yeah.
And
That's
clearly.
Good. That's good. All right.
All right. I'm gonna take off. So,
see you guys.
See ya.